Well, today we have from the Irvine Village College Foundation, Alyssa Ornsky, and Alyssa's been on with us before about a year ago. She's the executive director of that foundation. And thank you very much for coming on. And really the reason you're here today is I think people would assume that the foundations, both for you folks and for Saddleback, they help fund scholarships, which you do, but it's also a whole lot more than that. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today, right?
Yes, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's always good to have you folks on from the College District, and we always learn a lot and see what's going on, and we always get to know what's being built, what's coming up, and all the different fun stuff that you folks are doing. So let's talk about the foundation in general. And is this something that's been going on for quite a while?
Yes. So the foundation started back in the 80s.
Oh, wow.
And from what I'm told, at that point, the faculty said, we need a foundation. And one of the faculty members said, well, I'll give it a try. And so it's been building ever since then. And now fundraising in and of itself has become a profession, and it's changed a lot.
Yeah.
And so I am one of the first executive directors they've had who really has a significant fundraising background. So we've been making a lot of changes and doing some really good things. At least I think they're doing really good things.
And explain the reason for a foundation, because people might think in general that, well, the kids pay, or parents, whoever it might be, pay the tuition, and they may get some county funds and things like that. Why do they need a foundation?
Right. And we hear that all the time. You don't need my money, you're state funded.
Right.
And yes, we do get support from the state, but it doesn't cover everything that needs to be covered. And there are opportunities for our students that they can't have if we don't raise funds in order to support that.
Right, right.
And we also enhance programs. So things like our music department, they need to have access to foundation funds in order to do things like buy instruments.
Right.
When I first arrived, they had someone who wanted to play the harp. Well, you can't tote your harp back and forth.
Yeah.
And they realized it would be a huge enhancement to their program. So they spent $11,000 and bought a used harp. They're never going to get $11,000 from the state to buy a harp.
Right.
So here's something that really enhanced their program, but they use foundation funds in order to do that.
Right, right. And we're going to see on the first slide here, the first slide that shows a kind of a listing of where some of the money goes. And yes, of course, it goes, as we've talked about, quite often to help funds for scholarships, or maybe other students that are coming in and may not have, just don't have the capacity, even though these colleges are much less expensive than universities, they still might need some help. But we're going to look at some of the things where the money goes. And the first one is student conferences. And I would assume this is maybe maybe the students are part of some committee or some kind of an organization, whatever it might be that has to do with what they're learning. And there's sometimes these conferences, just like teachers go to conferences, students at this level want to go to them as well.
Exactly. And so where the students raise funds, or the funds are in one of the accounts already, so they use that to send them, and it varies. Each year is different.
Right.
So it's never the same thing multiple times. But we often send students to the Psi Beta conference, which is a psychology conference, and that gives those students the opportunity to present their research. Okay. Which is a very unusual thing for undergrads, and especially for community college undergraduates. Right. So this is a great opportunity that they couldn't do it otherwise.
Now, when I look at some of this, athletics and testing center, salaries, now, would that be extra faculty or maybe specialty people you bring in for that? Because obviously the faculty, the full-time faculty, are getting paid through taxes, through tuition, and so on. But would this be for, again, someone's coming in and maybe teaching a special course on something?
Yes, so this also allows us to enhance our programs. Okay. We're very fortunate at IVC that the district covers our salaries, and that's partially a choice for the foundation.
Yeah.
And every foundation, community college foundation, is different. So that's not the salaries of the foundation, but it's things like we bring in an extra counselor to provide counseling to our students, and especially our veteran students.
Okay.
And then veterans as in served in the army,
Right,
not
right.
our older students.
And I know that is a very big thing with the community college district, is
Yes.
helping out the veterans. Yeah.
Yes, we've been, the director of our veterans program has been very actively
Right, you
reaching
guys
out
have
and
a very
getting-
big program there.
We do,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she's phenomenal. We also have in athletics, they need additional PR, so they have someone
Okay.
who gets paid through the foundation. And then the other part is our summer bridge program. We pay a coordinator, and the short version of the summer bridge is we bring students in who neither of their, at least one parent did not go to college. They're low socioeconomic families, and they come to IVC the summer before their freshman year. They take communications one and
Okay.
counseling one to really get them in and give them something to build off of.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, I look at this, and we'll talk about the scholarships here in just a moment, but when I look at what you folks do, meaning the foundation, in a sense, this sort of relates to when you get to elementary school what the PTA does. Because the PTA, let's face it, is in a sense a foundation. It's a little bit different, but it gives funds, extra funds to that particular school for these, many times, these type of things. So
Yes.
it's kind of similar.
It is similar.
Yeah.
We're just on a bigger.
On a bigger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. The scholarships that you have here, you're going through the years, how much you folks have given, and it's really quite impressive.
Thank you. And we are in the process, because this is what we are the most well known for, and it's the most direct impact people have.
Right.
Which is one of the reasons we raise money for scholarships. And we're running the numbers for this year. It looks like we're actually going to break 500,000
Wow.
awarding to students. So
That's
we're-
amazing.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
very. You can tell by my face. We're very excited
Yeah.
about that, because it's all of those students that we're helping and giving them a leg up and
Yeah.
giving them an opportunity. So that's why it's one of the biggest pieces of what we do.
Yeah, and again, I know all the folks of the college district have talked about this before, that the benefit of going to a community college it's really just as great as the first couple years of most universities. It gives you that opportunity to maybe see what you like, and in some cases, if people, if students, maybe they pick more of a vocational type situation or track or trade, a couple years of junior college, I should say community, it used to be called, when I was a kid it was called junior college, but they're ready to go
Yes.
in many cases.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I went to a small private school in upstate New York, a
Yeah.
tiny school called Union College, 2,000 students. I see that our students get a lot of the benefits that I got at
Yeah.
the small private, and even back in the 90s, my parents and I were paying $25,000 a year.
Right.
And so this
Wow.
is, yeah, it's a big difference. The classes are small, they're taught by faculty, and the care that I see that
Right.
the faculty give the students is incredible.
Yeah, and that's a good point that you make, that it's taught by the faculty. I know when I took some courses at Orange Coast College, and some of those things that I did, a lot of them were just for fun, but they would relate the costs of, when I took some art classes, if you went to Art Center in Pasadena, how much this would be costing you, versus back then it was near free. And a few other things like that, the tremendous benefits that you get, and you're getting one-on-one almost education.
Yes.
Yeah, very good. So these are the scholarships over the years, and you're going to probably break that mark.
That
So
is
that'll be great.
what it's looking like. We're very excited about
Yeah.
that.
And here's the scholarship awards. You've got a plaque here, but it's a ceremony that you're going to be doing coming up in just a couple weeks.
Yes, it is. It's one of our favorite events of the year, because we do not actually solicit anyone for funds. It's the only event where we're not asking for money. We're thanking our contributors, our donors. And it's a scholarship ceremony. We invite the recipients and the scholarship donors and representatives. They sit at rounds together. You get to meet the students. And then we do award the scholarships, but it's not, the students don't walk across the
Right.
stage, and you hear a couple of student stories and a donor story, and it's you can't help but leave that event feeling good and like
Yeah.
you're making a difference in the world.
Let's talk about if people want to contribute. How would they do that?
They should call the foundation office and
Okay.
RSVP. The number is 949-451-5290, and we will be more than happy to have them come in. Registration starts at 8, the ceremony at 9. We are done by 10.
Okay.
And
All right. Very good. And if anybody wants to contribute or find out how, the easiest way that I can say is just go online, just put Irvine Valley College or IVC Foundation, and you'll find all the links there, just like I did. So
Yes.
that's easy to do.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
A pleasure
much.
to have you
pleasure
come
to be
on,
here.
and always good to have folks from the College District, and who knows who we'll see next month.
Great.
All
Thank
right.
you.
We'll be right back.